Hello friends, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365, and in today's video I'm going to give you my top 10 most wanted movie sequels that I would like to see on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification. You can also find me over Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd at Movie Guy 365. Okay, in this video, I'm going to go over my top 10 most wanted movie sequels that I would like to see on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray. Now, when I came up with this idea, I was surprised how many of these are actually not out on the physical formats. I know, that kind of comes with the territory when it comes to physical media. Some things make it, some things don't. But I think realistically, most of these will actually come out on 4K Ultra HD at some point. Some are even rumored, and I was wondering whether to actually include them on this list, but I'll make special mention of the ones that I do know that are coming. And this is also not including ones that are in 4K digital. There are a couple on this list that do fall under that category, and I realize that. But me being a physical collector, and if you're watching this channel, you probably are as well, would like to see physical copies of this on 4K. And as always with a list, this will be very subjective. This is my personal list. Yours will be different, of course, but I encourage you to put in the comment section below what you would put on your top 10 most wanted 4K Ultra HD sequel list. Okay, let's not waste any time. Let's dive right into my number 10. And that is going to go to the follow-up to Mad Max, and that is The Road Warrior. Recently, Kino Lorber released Mad Max on 4K Ultra HD, and it looks and sounds fantastic. So let's get the sequels in here, both of them. Road Warrior and Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome would be excellent 4Ks. The only thing is, we don't know exactly who has the distribution rights for either of those titles. I know Warner Brothers has the rights for, the newest Mad Max film and whatever sequels they produce at this point going forward. And Kino Lorber, a boutique label, has Mad Max as distribution. So the two follow-ups, we're not quite sure. But I think these are right for a 4K edition. They will look fantastic. So hopefully one day we will see both of these movies on the 4K format. My number 9, I'm going to give that to the Shrek sequels. Universal recently released the original on the 4K format, so let's throw in the sequels as well. I have a soft spot in my heart for Shrek 2 especially, but I wouldn't mind seeing 3 and 4 thrown in there. The animation style doesn't really scream reference quality when it comes to the actual 4K edition, but I would like the best possible visual and audio presentations of these movies, and animation in general is most welcome on 4K Blu-ray. So yes, Shrek 2, throw in 3 and 4 if you're really a fan, but I would love to see all these sequels on 4K Blu-ray. My number 8 is going to be The Karate Kid Part 2. Now, Sony released the original Karate Kid about a year or two ago on 4K Blu-ray, and they did a survey last summer where The Karate Kid Part 2 was actually mentioned as a possibility for release. I think this is probably a sure bet this is coming to 4K Blu-ray eventually, maybe sooner rather than later, and hopefully they tie it into the new release of Cobra Kai over on Netflix. I really enjoy this one. This is one of my favorite movies that is a sequel. It's a little bit better than the original. I enjoy it. I think the setting is awesome. It's got a great 80s soundtrack. And honestly, I think a lot of people would agree that The Karate Kid Part 2 would make an excellent 4K Blu-ray. My number 7 is 300: Rise of an Empire. Last summer, Warner Brothers released Zack Snyder's 300 on 4K Blu-ray, and it looks and sounds fantastic on the format. So let's get the sequel in there. Hopefully they upgrade the audio track to Dolby Atmos, and I think visually it would look stunning on 4K Blu-ray. Now, the sequel doesn't get quite amount the love that the original does, of course. It's not directed by Zack Snyder, but I think it has its own identity. It stars Eva Green, which is always a bonus, and it stays true to the world established in the first film. So I very much would like to see 300: Rise of an Empire get the 4K treatment, and for that reason, it's my number 7. My number 6 is the original Halloween 2 from 1981. With Halloween 2018 pretty much retconning all the sequels after the original film, it's kind of gotten lost in the movie history vault. But I know a lot of people are fans of the original Halloween 2. I know I am, and I would absolutely love a 4K edition of this. There is definitely a market out there for this one. I think visually it would really look great. It would go nicely alongside the original Halloween film. For those of us who were not exactly fans of Halloween 2018, there's still a lot of sequels in that particular library. You can even go, from Halloween 3 and above that. Really, I would like personally Halloween 2 on 4K Blu-ray, and hopefully one day that will come true. My number 5 is Sam Raimi's Army of Darkness. Now this one is actually coming. It's been confirmed that Scream Factory Shout Factory is working on a 4K restoration of this one, so it is actually going to be produced. But I wanted to put it on this list anyway because I am a big Evil Dead fan. I love the first 2 movies, and it seemed like a crime that this one wasn't getting the 4K treatment. I know the rights issues have always been a little crazy between the original Evil Deads and Army of Darkness, but I'm so glad this is coming. I'm hopefully we get the extended cut as well. I like both versions of the movie, but this one is long overdue for a 4K Blu-ray. Hopefully this year it will actually arrive on our shelves, but I still wanted to include it on the list. My number 4 is Eddie Murphy in Beverly Hills Cop Part 2. Now I know the sequel is already available in 4K with Dolby Vision on iTunes and other digital platforms, but I would of course like a physical copy on my shelf. Paramount released the original late last year, so I'm hoping by the end of 2021, the sequel gets the 4K Blu-ray. I really enjoy this one. I think it's one of those cases where the sequel, in my opinion, tops the original. I still love the original, of course, but there's something about the second one that just really resonates with me. I just enjoy it a lot. So yes, a 4K Blu-ray of Beverly Hills Cop Part 2 is most welcome. My number 3 is also available in 4K digitally, but I would love to see the Die Hard sequels on 4K Blu-ray. I particularly enjoy Die Hard 2 and Die Hard with a Vengeance, but if you want to throw the last 2 movies in there, I would not mind that at all. John McClane in 4K would be pretty awesome here. I know the likelihood of these getting a 4K physical release are kind of up in the air with 20th Century Pictures and Disney and their flimsy relationship with 4K Blu-rays as of late. But yes, in my personal wish list, all these Die Hard sequels will get the 4K treatment. And I would absolutely love, hey, even a new box set of all the films. So hopefully one day, fingers crossed, we will see these on a physical 4K Blu-ray. My number 2 is the Guillermo del Toro directed Blade 2 starring Wesley Snipes. This would look and sound absolutely fantastic on 4K Blu-ray. The original was released late last year and it looks great on the format. I cannot wait for a 4K edition of this one. Guillermo del Toro is one of my favorite directors and I think he did a great job with this movie. And honestly, I think it is coming eventually, hopefully sooner rather than later. I'm very hopeful, and for those that want Blade Trinity, sure, throw that one in as well. I wasn't a fan of it, but I would like to see all sequels get the 4K treatment at the end of the day. Before I get to my number 1, just a couple of quick honorable mentions, but with this honorable mention list, I'm going to want 4Ks from the original films where the sequels are already available on the format. So let's jump in. The first one, that is going to go to James Cameron's Terminator. I would absolutely love to see a 4K edition of this. I know a lot of people would. Most of the sequels are already on the 4K format, so let's get the original in there. Come on, I think this would just look and sound fantastic. Next up on my honorable mentions, Unbreakable from M. Night Shyamalan. With Split and Glass already on the 4K format, this is a no-brainer. Come on, we need this one on 4K Blu-ray. This is, I think, one of the most requested titles on the format from what I've read, and in me personally, this really needs a 4K disc pretty badly. And finally, for the honorable mentions, the Pirates of the Caribbean films. I know they're already in 4K digitally, so putting them on a physical disc should be the next step. A lot of people enjoy these movies. I'm one of them, especially the first 3. The 4th one's okay, it has its moments, but I would love a nice uniform collection on my shelf of all the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Hopefully one day, Disney, let's make this happen. And for my number 1 most wanted movie sequel that I would like to see on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray, that is Aliens. I would honestly love all the sequels to arrive on the 4K Blu-ray format, but if I could only pick one, it would be James Cameron's Aliens. The theatrical cut, the special edition, either would be nice. I want this one pretty badly. There have been rumors that this is going to show up next year. It's kind of a believe it when I see it type of situation there. But yes, Aliens on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray would be number 1 on a lot of people's lists. Hopefully one day this one will become a reality. So that is my top 10 most wanted movie sequels that I would like to see on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray. Now it's your turn. Put in the comments section below, what would you put on your top 10 list? In the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.